Have you ever waited for someone who never came? Let's take a journey back to July 12th. It was a day filled with laughter, balloons, and the sweet scent of chocolate cake. A day of celebration, Emily's 10th birthday. Yet, amidst the happiness, there was an undercurrent of sadness. An element was missing, an essential piece that would complete the puzzle of her joy. Her father. His absence was felt not by his words or actions, but by an empty chair. A chair that was supposed to be filled with his laughter and love. A chair that was supposed to share in Emily's joy, yet it sat there, vacant. It was a painful reminder of the distance between them, a symbol of his absence. It was a silent participant in the festivities, a mute witness to Emily's growing years. For the third year in a row, the chair beside Emily remained empty. 3 years ago, a promise was made. A promise that was meant to bridge the distance, to comfort a little girl whose world was about to change. Emily's father, Michael, knelt down one day, his rough hands gentle on her small shoulders. He was about to leave for a job abroad, a warehouse job in Canada, night shifts that ate away at his time, his health. But it was all for Emily. "I'll be back before your next birthday, I promise," he had said, his voice a whisper against the silence of the room. He kissed her forehead, his stubble tickling her skin. A tender moment etched into her memory. Emily believed him, her young heart clinging to that promise like a lifeline. She believed in her father, in the strength of his words, his promise. She waited, but he never came. With every tick of the clock, hope grew. Emily's heart fluttered when the familiar ding of a message echoed in the quiet room. It was from her father. His words, typed out in the glow of the tiny screen, felt like a lifeline. "Only 20 more days. I'm finally coming home," the message read. Her heart swelled with joy, a joy so bright it pushed away the shadows of loneliness that had lingered for too long. With each passing day, she felt a step closer to his warm embrace. She made a paper countdown, each square representing a day, a moment, a heartbeat closer to his return. She stuck it on the wall, a tangible symbol of her anticipation. Every morning she would cross off a day, her fingers tracing the dwindling numbers. The countdown became a ritual, a silent prayer whispered with the stroke of a pen. But little did she know the countdown would stop at just 2 days. On August 3rd, a tragedy unfolded. The day that was supposed to mark the end of a long wait instead marked the beginning of a heartbreaking eternity. Far away in Canada, the alarm clock buzzed in an empty room, its shrill sound echoing through the silent space. Michael, Emily's dad, didn't wake up to silence the alarm. He didn't wake up at all. In the early hours of the morning, he was found on the cold warehouse floor, his suitcase half-packed nearby. The dream of returning home had been so close, just a breath away. But life had other plans. Michael had succumbed to a heart attack, his body giving up on him before he could make his much-awaited journey home. In his pocket, they found a photo. A simple, worn-out picture of a little girl with a radiant smile. Emily, his 10-year-old princess, who was waiting for him, counting down the days with a faith only a child's heart could hold. On the back of the picture, written in Michael's shaky handwriting, was a message. "To my princess, I'll be home soon." A promise, a hope, a dream, all crushed under the weight of reality. The news traveled across borders, reaching Emily, shattering her world into a million pieces. The countdown on her wall, the one that was supposed to end in joy, ended in tears. She stopped the countdown at 2 days, 2 more days that her dad could have held on, 2 more days to a reunion that was never meant to be. The promise of a return became a tale of permanent departure. The chair that was empty for 3 birthdays in a row would remain empty forever. This was the news that broke Emily's heart, the news that her dad, her hero, was never coming back. Emily's world came crashing down, her dad was never coming home. The little girl who turned 10 with a heart full of hope was left with a reality that was too harsh for her tender years. The countdown was over, but the wait would never end. In the face of grief, Emily found strength. The paper countdown, frozen at 2 days, found a new home beside her bed, a solemn reminder of a promise left unfulfilled. She moved through the house, the silence echoing the absence of her father. The chair, his chair, that had been empty for 3 birthdays, was gently guided by Emily's small hands. She placed it next to the coffin, her heart aching with every step. In the quiet hush of the room, she leaned in, her whisper barely stirring the air. "You missed my birthdays, but not this one." There was no bitterness, only a heartbreaking acceptance, a quiet acknowledgement of the undeniable truth. "You're finally home, Daddy." Her voice was soft, but resolute, echoing the strength of her spirit. In her heart, Emily knew her dad had made it home for her birthday, just not in the way she had imagined. In the silence of her loss, Emily understood a profound truth. It was a realization that cut through the quiet of her heartache like a beacon in the night. It wasn't the promise of presents that had kept her heart aflutter each year. It wasn't the money he had sent from across the miles, or the gifts that arrived on her doorstep. No, what she longed for, what she had counted down for, was his presence. The reassuring weight of his hand on her shoulder, the sound of his laughter, the warmth of his hugs. She realized that love, true love, was about being there. It was about witnessing the milestones, the ordinary moments, the unremarkable days that make up a life. It was about being present, not just in spirit, but in person. In her silent truth, Emily whispered, "They don't want your money. They just want you."